Dear students, welcome back to our another session. And today I'm going to start with another topic of SBL, which is risk management. Guys, risk management is something which is very important for every business, be it a small trader or it's a huge company. Every businessman need to understand what kind of risk could arise on their business and how they need to manage their risk and how they have to respond towards their risk. So let's study the risk management. So first of all, we need to understand what does risk means. Risk means exposure to adverse consequences due to any uncertain future event. See, uh, something negative could come, and due to that negative mishappening, the consequences of that mishappening are such a form that they are gonna to impact my business a lot. There could be just taking the example, if there is some change in the government and due to government policies, these government policies are not in favor of my business, then there is a risk that due to that change in government policy, or maybe the ruling party change after election, and that party is someone who is opposing my business, then there is a chance that they will run such policies that could harm my business. So it's a risk. Now that risk depend upon the business to business, companies to company, and there are various factors which will decide the risk and the level of the risk which is being faced by a company. So that risk is gonna to be dependent upon the size of the company. Small company will face smaller risk, but again, a large size company will face huge risk. So that again depend upon the geographical region and location. If suppose we are in a MNC based model and we have our existence in more than one country, so again we have to face the risk with respect to multiple countries. So that depend upon the economy, that depend upon the law, so many factors. Now again, next thing is about the growth phase of the company. Are we in the growth phase, are we in the setup phase, or are we at the maturity level? Because that also contribute the risk that depend upon the level of the business which we are operating in. Now business model and strategies. See, physical business have several different kind of risk as compared to online business. Just like, see, online market is a huge market. They have a global approach, but again, if the approach is global, then the risk is again global. So that depending upon our reach, the risk will vary. Again, capital structure, are we financing through debt or through equity or a combination of both? Because see, debt is something which will take our fixed amount of cost and we have to repay the fixed interest. So again, if we have to pay fixed amount of money, if our business is not succeeding, then it's a risk that we will have to suffer with the financial constant. Again, it's a challenging thing. So that depend upon various factors and depending upon the company and location. Now, apart from that, risk depend upon industry to industry. See, some industry are exposed to different kind of risk as compared to the other industry. Just taking the example, in case of manufacturing industry, there are concerns relating to health and safety. But again, in finance, in banking industry, we have financial risk. So that depend upon the nature of the product which we are offering, that level of the investment we have invested in, that depend upon the technology. If we are more dependent upon the technology, we will have to face technological related risk and challenges, and again that depend upon the ecological aspects, because if we are dependent upon the ecological aspects, the risk will depend upon that effects. And yes, see, uh, again there is another factor that depend upon the regulation. See, if we are in the investment in industry, insurance industry, healthcare industry, there will be more regulation and there will be risk relating to those specific areas. But if we are not dealing with these types of industries, then the risk maybe are less as compared to the other industries. Now, In the main question, you might expect the situation where you have to find out what kind of risk uh, in that particular situation could arise. So now let's discuss certain risks which are being faced by a business. They are exchange rate risk. See, these risks depend upon the company which we are dealing in and the industry which we are dealing in. Just take the example exchange rate risk. Whenever we are dealing in foreign currencies, these risks could arise only in those situations. So you have to analyze the case study, and if the question is giving you idea that we have operation in multiple countries and we have sale and exchange of foreign currencies, then this particular risk arise only in those cases. So exchange rate risk, that is risk of adverse movement in foreign currency in which the organization deal with. For example, it is importing raw material in foreign currency, or a foreign currency or a customer owes money in foreign currency. See, suppose if I have purchased certain amount of raw material from another country, that means I have to pay back them to in their country. Just take the example of ACCA. Suppose you have to pay ACCA fees of ACCA, right? If the pounds rate is gonna to increase, that is gonna to impact you. So this is the exchange rate risk. Next is interest rate risk. Risk of adverse change in the interest rate on borrowings or interest rate on investment or deposit. Just taking the example of investment, you have invested in certain investment area, and the interest rate now decline. So this is gonna to impact you negatively because you will get less amount of return. So it is interest rate risk. Next is market risk. Risk of loss from capital market from adverse changes of share price of the company. Example, difficulty in raising capital to fund expansion of plan. Suppose I have suffered a loss in the capital market because the share price of my company have declined due to suppose negative publicity. Now, due to that, I am not in a position to get more funds from outside the organization. So this is gonna to impact me adversely. Next is investment risk. Risk that the value of investment may fluctuate adversely. Again, if I have invested in something and the investment value would decline due to some adverse consequences, this is regard to the investment risk. Now, all these risks depend upon the information which is being provided to us. Apart from that, we have few more risks. Just like the political risk, just take the example that if in any country the government is unstable, and they are highly intervening in the business area which we are dealing in, then that could adversely impact our business. So this is about the political risk, and legal risk is somehow same to the political risk, but there are few differentiates. So, guys, again, you have to find out the information in the question that suppose if we are investing or trying to invest in particular country, and you have to find out, or the question is asking you to suggest that what risk could arise in that situation, or in that company, or in that country where we are investing in, and should we go ahead or not. So the question could be of any type. So next one is the regulatory risk, that is risk of adverse changes in laws and regulation directly or indirectly affecting the company operations. So maybe the company which we are dealing in have adverse laws and regulation consequences. Maybe suppose we are dealing in a paper manufacturing business or plastic bags manufacturing business. See, that happened recently. So the government announced that it's a legally offense, and the one who will be dealing in these plastic bags will have to pay a huge amount of penalty. Now this is gonna to seriously impact my business, because if I have the manufacturing units of plastic bags, now the sales will get impacted. So that is with respect to the legal compliance risk. And again, if I am breaching that thing, if I am not following the laws and regulation, then again I will have to pay the penalty amount. And again, this risk could create the regulatory risk, because if the laws and regulation have changed, these laws and regulations are gonna to impact me negatively. Next is technological related risk, that is the risk from change to technology essential to support the business, just like the plant, machinery, IT, software. Suppose there is a change in technology. Just take the example of Nokia mobile phone. It's not directly linked with that, but just take that example. Earlier, Nokia was one of the leading brands of the mobile phones, but now Nokia is nowhere. Reason being because there was a new change and there was requirement of Android technology, but Nokia refused to adopt that. Due to that, now Nokia is nowhere. So if there is a change in the market or the technological demand and our business is not in a position to update or upgrade according to that, then business will definitely suffer. So if we are dealing in an industry where these types of fluctuations are continuously arising, that is known as the technology related risk. Next is the reputation risk, that is risk of harm to organization, image, brand, goodwill, or reputation, including negative publicity and adverse public sentiments. See, if due to some maybe the environmental pressure groups, or maybe the product which we are dealing in, anything, due to that there is negative publicity about my brand name, maybe my employee, maybe my product, maybe the product which I am serving. So due to these factors, if there is something negative or there is a situation that is gonna to impact my goodwill, that is known as the reputation related risk. Next is health and safety related risk. So, risk of harm, injury, disability, death, or adverse health effect on people, example, employee, customer, society, due to the operations of the company, that is known as health and safety related risk. So, suppose if I am dealing in a particular product, or I have the industry in which my employee, the customer, nearby person could suffer due to my operation, that is known as health and safety related risk. Suppose I have a manufacturing industry, and due to that manufacturing industry, there is emission of a gas which is somehow harmful, and that could create asthma related problems. Now that could create harm on the health effects of the person living nearby or the employees, that is with respect to health and safety related risk. Again, this risk could create another risk also. So it's not mandatory that one situation could create only one risk. One situation could create more than one risk. Next is intellectual property related risk. That is the intellectual property is something which is intangible. That is, we can't see that, we can't touch that. That is dependent upon the maybe the employee skills, the knowledge our employee have. That could be the formula of our product. That could be anything. So if there is harm on my intellectual property, maybe my most favorite employee leave my organization and join the competitor firm, or maybe my secret formula could leak, and that is the core ingredient of my product, then that is going to harm my business. Next is probity risk, that is with respect to dishonesty. If my employees are involved in dishonesty or unethical behavior, that is gonna to impact me financially also, reputation wise also. So one risk could create another more risk. Next is entrepreneurial risk. So risk of associated with a new business venture or opportunity, new product or new market. Entrepreneurs are the persons who bear the risk, and they get the benefit of bearing that risk. So again, if we are getting benefit from something, then we have to face the challenge, we have to face the risk. So if we are finding some new opportunities, or if we are acquiring new opportunities, then these new opportunities don't come alone, that are gonna to have a risk with respect to new technology, new product also. Now next is about the business risk. So next being the business risk, that risk which threaten the survival of our business, and the situation would could which could create threat to our going concern existence, and these particular risks are faced by business. Remember, in double A we have audit risk question, and I mentioned to my own student that in AAA, we will be covering business risk question as well. And business risk is something which we have to think on the perspective of the management. And yes, you just have to think that which particular situation could create threat to the survival of your business. Maybe the wrong strategy, maybe the changes in the government legislation, maybe your decision, maybe business model, maybe competitors. So these situation would create threat for your existence. Now, next one is the financial risk, that is the risk from maybe there is a situation that could create the reduction in the revenue or maybe the profitability of your company, and due to that your business financial structure get changed. Maybe you need to borrow more money, maybe you are indebted. So basically these situation could create the working capital situations also. Next is credit risk, that is if your customer fails to pay their dues on time. And trust me guys, this is something which I have faced during my business period also. That yes, being a polite person, I was not in a position to ask that pay my money, and that happened with me. So yes, if your customers are not paying you on time, that is gonna to create a situation, because you will not be having ready cash in your hand and you have to pay back to your suppliers. So you will struggle on working capital management. Next is liquidity risk, that is risk that the company does not have sufficient cash to pay off its current liability, that mainly arise from the bad working capital management. So if your business working capital management situation is not proper, then that is gonna to create a liquidity related risk, because you are not in a position to pay your current liabilities, and that risk could arise due to the credit risk related situation. Now, these were certain risks which business could face. Now, we need to understand how to manage these risks and what is the process of risk management. So, risk management means we are identifying, measuring, and managing the risk which is being faced by the company. And that's why risk management is important for a company to survive and to face the unseen, unforeseen adverse consequences. And if we are not in a situation to manage the risk, then definitely we are gonna to struggle. So, risk management strategy is linked with the organization corporate strategy. Example, organization is seeking the rapid growth, it is likely that it will have to take more risk than an organization is seeking to maintain its current position. So if your business is seeking the risk, then that is going to create risky situation. And yes, it's not one time task that you have managed your risk today you are safe. Maybe in future, if you are not upgrading your business, then again that is going to create an adverse effect on your business. So that's why business need to analyze the situation on a daily routine basis. Maybe current situation is that the risk and the occurrence of that risk is low, but again that probability could increase, and that is gonna to harm us adversely. Now, what are the advantages of risk management if we manage risk earlier, and if we get to know about the risk which could arise earlier? So, see, if we get to know about the risk which could arise, which that situation is gonna to prevent us from unforeseen consequences, and we can mitigate those risks at the first stage, and definitely we are gonna to achieve our objective. If we fail to do all these things, then definitely these things are gonna to impact our long term organizational strategy, and we won't be in a position to achieve our organizational objectives. And again, if certain risk arise, that types of risk could create harm on our reputation, just like the negative publicity. And sometimes due to these risks, we might have to pay a huge amount of penalties, and we have discussed about the situation where we might have to pay penalties. So if we are managing the risk on a timely basis, we can save our business at the first place. Now, next is embedding risk in organization culture. See, risk embedded is something very important for any business. Embedding risk in organization culture. See, we are talking about making people aware about risk. But is it enough to make people aware about risk only? No. We need a culture in the organization from top till bottom that everyone is sincere about risk and they know that how it is important, how much it is important to manage risk and to know about the risk. So the risk awareness is not just making people aware and telling them about the situation could create risk, but yes, it's just a culture which need to be followed throughout the organization from top till bottom, and that's why we need certain ways to create risk embedment in our organization. And the ways in which we can embed the risk in our organization include, we need first of all the commitment from top level of management. If, because if they are not serious and if they don't follow the regime about the risk awareness, we can't help out. Next is create a risk focused environment. That means the organization, all the people in organization are aware about risk and they are serious about risk, and we should create an environment that if someone get any information about risk, then they do follow up with respect to those risks. And we need a formalized risk committee who will be dealing with the risk related activities. And we need ERM framework, we need per controlling and risk audit, just to make sure on a daily purpose basis that yes, we have sufficient control and these controls are capable enough to check those risks. Next is we need human resource and employees in our organization that depend upon the organization to organization. Whenever new person join in our company, we need proper orientation session, we need proper job description, we need training session, and we need periodic performance appraisal that okay, the person who have been assigned authority with respect to those risks are performing their responsibility well or. Now, apart from the risk embedment in the organization culture, next topic is the enterprise risk management framework, which is by the COSO, because most of the organization adopt for the COSO management framework to follow the risk management structure in their organization. So, Committee of Sponsoring Organization is also known as COSO. You don't need to remember the full form for that. Basically, according to the ERM framework, we as a business, we need to manage our business strategies along with the risk management, and we need to design the risk structure, and we need to design how we are gonna to manage our risk according to the risk appetite, which I will be discussing in coming few minutes. And then according to the COSO framework, we have 8 elements or 8 stages of our risk management framework. First one is the control environment. We have already discussed that yes, we need a commitment from the top level management that yes, our top management should be serious about the risk, and the risk management should be embedded in the organization culture, because if the people are not serious about risk, then there is no value of the risk, and we can't create a culture. And if the culture is not created, then there is no use for that. Now, next is about the objective setting. That means we need to settle our objective depending upon our risk appetite, depending upon our ALAP level. That means our ALAP level as low as reasonably possible, so that we can decide our strategies depending upon the risk which we are facing. Now, the third stage is to identify the event, that is the making a list of all those possible situations, maybe internal, maybe external, which could create the risk relating situation. Then next one is the risk assessment. That means we need to assess risk based on the impact and probability, and we need to prioritize these risks according to the expected values. So we can adopt for the TARA model for this purpose. Now, next is the risk response. That means we need to decide that yes, for this particular situation, how we are gonna to deal with this risk. So after thinking about that, yes, in this particular situation, we have to adopt the situation, or we have to accept the situation, or we have to reduce the level of threat. Then next is the control activities. That is, we have to implement the responses depending upon the risk, and we have to take action to save our organization from the upcoming risk. Now, next is we have to make sure that our staff, our concerned persons who are working in our organization are updated, and that's why we need to train them. We need to regularly communicate whatever situation is. And next and last but not the least, which is monitoring, that is under ERM framework, we have to regularly assess the level of the risk and the situation so that we can regularly control our uh, prevailing risk, and we can update according to the risk upcoming towards our organization. Now, for the purpose of risk mitigation and risk management, there is a model which is known as TARA model. And TARA model is very easy, guys. That is, depending upon the probability and depending upon the impact of risk, we decide whether we should avoid that situation, we should reduce that level of risk, we should accept the situation as it is, and maybe we have to transfer the risk to the another party. So first one is the depending upon the probability, that is, if we have low probability and the impact is also low, then in that situation we don't need to bother, and we need to accept the situation as it is, and we will accept the consequences of the risk, because according to us the probability of occurring that risk is very low, and the impact of the risk will be very less as compared to the other risk. So then we will be happily accepting the situation as it is. Now, in case we have a huge probability of that particular risk to be happen, and the impact of that risk is again very high, so if we know that the probability is high and the impact is high, we should avoid that situation. We will be eliminating that activity. Maybe we won't be indulging that activity if we think that that risk could impact adversely towards our organization. Next is, if we know that the probability is high but the impact is low, then what we can do is we can reduce the impact and probability by implementing controls in our organization. And last but not the least, if the probability is low but the impact would be high, we knew that if that risk is gonna to happen, that is gonna to create a huge impact, then what we can do that the yes, the chance is very low, but in that case we can transfer that risk to a third party by outsourcing, by franchisee or insurance, that depending upon situation to situation, and the strategically importance that what we can adopt for that situation. Now, there is a document which is known as risk register. Basically, it's a formal document of organization which contains all the information about the risk prevailing in our organization and their impact and probability. Basically, the TARA model information is also available in the risk register. And with the risk register, we prioritize the risk based upon the attention, based upon the impact, based upon the probability, and then we manage risk because we have a detailed information about the resources, depending upon the probability, depending upon the impact, we will be dealing with the upcoming risk. Now, for the purpose of risk management, we have a risk committee. We have discussed about risk committee in the previous topics also, that yes, we need a formal risk committee to implement the control, to have a check on the risk prevailing in the organization. So risk committee will oversight all the risk which could arise in the organization, which the company could face, so that these committee people will ensure that the organization is having a sound system of risk management and proper internal control is existing in the organization, and these internal control system are sufficient enough. If the uncertainty arise, they could find out the situation and they could deal with the situation of risk. And in the risk committee, see, we have different type of committee, be it be the remuneration committee, be it be the nomination audit committee. So in these committees we have mainly majority of NED with some executive director, because we need executive directors for the internal knowledge with the expertise, as they are daily on a routine purpose nature, they are actively participating in the organization, so they know more about the organization. So that's why in committee specifically we have executive directors as well, along with the majority of non-executive directors, because non-executive directors will bring independence in the committees. Now, what kind of roles these risk committee perform? First of all, with as we have discussed about the embedment of the risk management culture in the organization. If we have a formalized committee, then these committee will give a structure to the organization, and they will help to embed the risk related culture in the organization, and they will identify what kind of risk our organization could face in the upcoming future, and how we can manage them, how we can control them, and they manage the risk depending upon the risk exposure, depending upon the alap level of the organization. And again, they check the control system of organization, and they make it sure that yes, we are performing a risk management procedure consistently, and the controls which are operating in our organizations are effective enough that they can check whether the particular risk could arise, and we can save our organization from the upcoming risk. And if there is any situation of weakness, risk committee will check on a daily purpose that yes, we need to upgrade our internal control system. And again, if we have a formalized risk committee, then our shareholders will get confidence about the risk, and again, they will get updation from the risk committee with respect to those risks prevailing in the organization. Now, apart from the risk committee, organization need a risk manager, the person who will be managing the risk management process of the organization, and he will be considering the policies, procedure, and system. He will be doing the work as he will be doing all the updation in the risk register. Reporting to the risk committee is one of the major areas which he will be dealing with, and he will make sure that our organization is compiling and doing compliance of all the risk related issues and the regulations which our organization have to follow up. And the risk management culture is overseen by the risk manager. His main duty is to make sure that everyone who is responsible for the risk is implementing the controls, and it's following the rules and regulations applied to him. Again, with respect to risk management strategy, he implement the framework, and he makes sure that the strategies which we are adopting are according to the scenario. So he is one of the important person in the risk management process. Now, again, we need risk audit in our organization to just make sure that the risk management process and the controls are working effectively. So, for the purpose of risk audit, we need external firm to give a double expertise, or give more independent opinion. But yes, this particular task could be adopted by the internal auditor as well. So, with respect to risk audit, we need to make sure that there are four stages of risk audit. First of all, we need to make sure that what kind of risk could arise, and we can maintain risk register for that. And within that risk register, we will prioritize all the risk based upon the probability and impact, and we can follow Tara model for that also. And then we will review the controls, whether the controls are operating effectively or not, and whether these controls are in a place to mitigate the risk which could arise in our organization. And with risk audit, again, audits are conducted just to check and to prepare a report with respect to whatever finding have been conducted in the audit. So under risk audit, report is issued to the management with respect to the risk and control, and whether the controls are working effectively or not, or what are the shortcomings, and what are the recommendations with respect to the risk. So now, what are the benefits if we opt for someone external from our organization as an auditor to conduct the audit? see, if someone who is not the part of organization will be more independent, so that person will have expertise of the other industry, other companies also. And again, there will be no situation of familiarity threat, because that person will be external person, so he can't be influenced by the other persons, especially internal person. And definitely that is gonna to enhance the shareholders confidence that yes, the audit performed by the person who is outside will give more expertise opinion as compared to the internal person, and they will trust the company audited report. So this was the benefit of a risk audit by the external. And with this, the topic of risk management is over, guys. Make sure to practice question from ACC Study Hub as well as Kaplan or BPP kit under examination condition, and try to link the question with the case study. And make sure to use the information, just like as I have discussed about the risk type of risk, that could be the industry related risk, financial risk, reputation risk. So you have to find out the information in the question, and you have to decide whether you can use these types of points or not. And again, with respect to just like a model, just like Tara model, so the question is not directly gonna to ask you about the model. This is your responsibility to decide whether I have to adopt for any model or not. Maybe sometime the question is gonna to provide you information with that yes, adopt for this model. But if the question is not providing you information, you can opt for model. That's totally your call. Now that was all about today's lecture, and now let's see you in the next lecture. Thank you.